Welcome. Let me give you some advice. Let me encourage and motivate you today. I want to talk to you about the difference between survival and strength. In your 20s, your 30s, life may have seemed that it was all about survival, getting from one thing to the next, right? Whether it was work, whether it was paying your bills, whether it was surviving relationships, it just was one thing to the next, keeping your head above water, kind of outrunning your problems in some ways. For some people, it felt like every day was a new stress, every day was a new problem that you had to overcome or solve or put to the side to just survive, to move to the next phase of your life, to get from Monday to Friday. For some of you, may have seemed like you were jumping through hoops, doing aerobics, trying to carry a whole bunch of different things at once, but you made it. You spent many of your years just surviving, going from one problem to the next, from one stress to the next. And somehow you've made it. You might have been super exhausted. You might have lost some relationships in the middle of it. You may have not liked all the decisions that you made, but you made it. Now, to get to this next phase of your life, you will have to do some things different. There are times in our lives that, yes, we are just surviving. We're just getting from one problem to the next. We're trying to do the best that we can, the way that we know how to do it, with what we have in our hands. And there's nothing wrong with being in survival mode. But here is where you want to be careful. You want to be careful when survival mode is the only mode that you're ever in. You want to be careful when you're in survival mode in your teens, in your 20s, in your 30s, in your 40s, in your 50s, because that type of living is going to bring chronic stress, it's going to bring disease, it's going to bring illness and just fatigue and just not being able to have the life that you want. Not only is it unhealthy, but it's not the life that you're intended to have. It's not a life full of balance. It's not a life where you're able to take information from one season of your life and use it into the next season of your life. So, how do we move from just being in survival mode all the time to really beginning to enjoy our lives, to moving from survival to strength? It's going to take stepping back. It's going to take taking a pause in your life, taking time to examine your life. What has worked for you? What was good and healthy and worked? What may have not been so good, but it did work for the season that you're in? But you can't keep doing that in your 20s, in your 30s, in your 40s, in your 50s. So you have to make some changes. So to move from just surviving to a place where you're stronger and you're building, and instead of surviving the problems, you're getting ahead of the problems. You have a tool, a resource, something ready to answer the problem when it shows up. To do that, we have to step back. It's hard to begin to master your life if you're always running in front of it, running in front, hoping to not be under the next thing, running in front, hoping to just survive it, but not looking and seeing, wait a minute, does everything need to be addressed? Is everything the same level of stress? Is everything at a 10 all the time? Or can some things be like at a 1 or 5, right? Some things don't require your attention, but other things do. Some of us have lived life going from one emergency to an emergency to an emergency. We don't know what it's like to have a life where it's peaceful and quiet and there's stability. And so we want you to get to that place. But to get to that place, sometimes we have to pull back, we have to slow down, we have to examine, okay, what worked before, right? And then what do you have to do to change things so that you can continue using what works, but it makes more sense now in the stage of life that you're in, and it works better for you, so that your life can get to the place that you wanted to get to. So to move your life from a place of just survival to a place of strength, you have to look at, I'm going to slow down, I'm going to examine my life, I'm going to use what worked, I'm going to make some adjustments, some changes, so that the thing that worked for me continues to work for me. And if I don't need it anymore, I can put that thing down and I can learn a new way of doing things so that life is a little bit easier, a little less stressful, and I'm going in front of my life, not trying to outrun it, but I'm in front and I'm in the driver's seat and I am driving my life according to the direction that I want it to go in. And my stresses, my problems are not in control of my life, but I'm in control of my life. So I just want you to take a moment to step back and look and say, okay, right, am I just surviving or am I living from a place of strength? Have I picked up what I need to pick up, learned what I need to learn? And is it time to stop being so exhausted because I'm just surviving life and to start walking through life with strength and with confidence and also in control of your life? Lead with strength, right? Not just survival. So that way you can see how far you've come, what you've been able to do. Enjoy that fact, right? Be proud of that fact. And now take control so that you can enjoy your life more. And you can give your life, right, the stability, the peace, the direction it needs. Because you're not just going from problem to problem, but you are in control of the direction that your life goes in and the outcome that you get, and you're proud of it, and you're living your life on purpose, setting the course for yourself, not having other people or circumstances or situations tell you how you're going to live, what you're going to do, where your focus is going to be. That's survival. The problems come, you just respond, right? A place of strength is the problems come and you apply what needs to be applied. But guess what? You're also ahead of the game. Your life is not focused on the next problem, the next shoe dropping, the next thing going wrong. Your life is focused on your confidence, your strength, your ability, and the direction that you want it to go in. So continue to be strong. I'm glad that you made it this far. And now it's time to make it further in a more peaceful, enjoyable, and also a life that you lead, you direct, you guide. Thank you for joining me for this Word of Advice Wednesday. I hope that you stay encouraged and motivated. Thank you.